swap. Okay. Hey guys, it's me. I know I haven't done anything for a while, so this is just me one-on-one with you guys. I'm starting a new series. It's to review anime. I myself am a big anime fan. I don't know about the rest of you out there, but I know I am. So, my first review is going to be on Fullmetal Alchemist and Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. This might turn into a two-part review. It just depends on how far I end up going with this. I don't really write it out. I just talk about what I know, and I'm really kind of more of an expert on it than most. But Fullmetal Alchemist is about two brothers, Edward and Alphonse. Edward is the older brother, and Alphonse is the younger brother. And when they're kids, their mom dies. And of course, their world's based on alchemy, as the title depicts. And when Alphonse is 10 and Ed's 11, after their mother dies, they learn from Azumi Curtis, and they try to perform a human transmutation, which is a taboo of alchemy. Never has one been attempted and successful. Usually when a human transmutation goes down, it results in a homunculi, which are named after 7 deadly sins: sloth, lust, envy, greed, gluttony, wrath, and pride. Sloth is their homunculi that is based off their mother. In the first series, Sloth looks more like the mother. In the second series, it's actually not their mother. It's a male, and he's big and bulky and very fat. I find that the Sloth in the first series kind of makes more sense because it's supposed to be their mother, not just some random creature that they created. It shouldn't really, be anything else. During the transmutation, though, they have a backfiration, and in both animes this is the same. Edward loses up to his knee on his left leg, or it's just past his knee actually, and Alphonse loses his whole body. Of course, they've both seen now what's called the Truth. It talks more about alchemy and it has more to deal with it. I know that the truth is everything there is, was, and will be. And it knows all. And that's why it's called the Truth. So, in order to get his brother back, one of the things Ed saw was how to bind a spirit into a body. Or not, into a body, but into anything that's hollow. So, in order to get his brother back, he sacrifices from his right shoulder down to get his brother's soul back. And that puts Al in a suit of armor. And it's a huge suit of armor, and over the series, both series, and the manga, they have to repair. You see that they have to repair the suit over and over again. And it's kind of interesting the different things that happen with these two series. The original series, Winry and her grandma Pinocchio, Winry and Pinocchio Rockwell, they do everything for Ed's surgery. Ed, of course, did not have any anesthesia or anesthetics or anything like that. He did the surgery knowing that it was going to be painful and knowing that he was going to be awake during it to get the prosthetic limbs. Now, this recovery is supposed to take about 3 to 4 years, and he does it in about a year. Coughs up a lot of blood and such, but he makes it through it, and at the age of 12, becomes the youngest alchemist to ever join the Mestrian military. Now, Mestrian, that sounds familiar, so does Alchemy, right? This is what this is there are two worlds, and you find more out about this in the movie. They're two worlds right side by side. They're identical, basically. Like my hands are mostly identical right now, except my thumbs. But I'm fixing it. But in one world, alchemy is the leading thing, and physics is not. Now, in the other world, it's our world. The worlds have a 6-year difference. Their world is 6 years slower than our world. And so what happens is but where was it going? So yes, but so Amestris was the original name of the country that alchemy was created in, and alchemists tried to now known as chemists tried to create gold from lead and such, which there are two different properties. You can't do that. They're two completely different items. But in their world, alchemy went over physics and such, and they it basically became the main thing, and it kept Amestris as the name and everything. And alchemists can join the military, and they're called the dogs in the military because during the Ishbalan extermination period, which the Ishbalans are tan, they're basically like black people, but they were never treated like they were. They have white hair, they're tan, and they have red eyes. And basically a Amestrian who was Envy in disguise. Envy can, of course. He is Edward's older brother, you find out later on. But he disguises himself basically like Envy can transform clothing and all anything he wants to be. And he disguises himself as an Austrian military guy and shoots a little kid, supposedly by accident, but it was really on purpose to get this whole thing flowing. And Ed's mom died at the same time this war was going on. Well, Winry's parents also died during the war. In the original series, they died because Roy Mustang was ordered to kill them. In the second series, which this is partially a thing, Kimberly, which is a chemical alchemist, he deals with explosions and stuff. He has a tattoo with Luna in it, which is the moon, and one with Soli in it, which is the sun, or has to deal with eclipses. But he has those on his hands, and he deals with explosions and finds that people are more explosive than other materials. But he tries to kill them with his alchemy, and Scar loses his right arm up to about here, where this muscle line right here on my shoulder is. And so his brother uses alchemy to give him his arm, which has destruction alchemy on it, and he basically goes around killing alchemists because of the whole Ishbalan extermination. This happens in both series. But in the second series, you find out about a little over halfway through, while they're at Briggs, which is the north, that you find out that he killed Winry's parents. And Mustang or somebody like that was already supposed to go kill them, but they were dead when they got there. Either way, Winry's parents die in both series. Scar is an Ishbalan. He was originally an Ishbalan priest, but they're not supposed to use any type of alchemy. So basically, it's like he's abandoned his god and become he's not against his religion, but He's basically some type of outcast. And he eventually helps rebuild along with Roy Mustang and everybody. He helps rebuild it. The Fuhrer is, in the first series, he is Pride. And in the second series, he is Wrath. Wrath in the original series is Izumi's child. Wrath was created when Izumi bore a stillborn child, and she tried to bring him back to life with a human transmutation. Another main difference is like some of the storylines. Ed and Winry in the original one seem like they're going to be, but they don't end up together. At the end of the series, Envy kills Ed. Alphonse sacrifices himself and brings Ed back. And then Ed does human transmutation on himself, sends himself into our world during a few years before, about 2 years before the Second World War, during the, like, 2 years before the Munich Putsch, and where they arrested Hitler and all. I'm sorry if I kind of destroyed that name. I don't know how to pronounce that. But, he, like, in the second series, Alphonse sacrifices himself, gives Ed his arm back. Of course, Ed still has bits and pieces of his old automail piece that was blown off in his arm. Ed then sacrifices alchemy to bring Alphonse back, but he's still in this world, and Alphonse gets everything back that he lost. And he keeps his whole memory. Izumi dies after sometime during the pause point and the before the Conqueror Shambhala. But Wrath originally is her son. I believe Celine in the second series is her son, but I'm not completely sure. But I know Celine is Pride, who was the Fuhrer. Celine is supposed to supposedly be the Fuhrer's son, because he's young enough to fit that. But either way, Izumi lost her insides, and they all kind of morphed into one super organ, and if she does any too strenuous activities, she starts coughing up blood, but Hohenheim cures that and gives her her insides back, all of them, and they go back to normal. This anime, both are very, very hard to keep up with the storyline, the way they move, but they're both very good animes. I'm a fan of them. They're my favorite animes. They released a movie, which released in Japan on the 7th of July of this year. I'm not sure when it'll be released in America. I think it's going to be in early 2012. That's what Funimation says. But if I were you, I would definitely watch this series. I would watch the original first, because the original, yes, it's not based on the manga, it's not based on the actual thing, but it's more based on the character bonds, what they have. It's more based on that. The second series is more based on the manga, it's more based on what's happening and all. But, I would definitely, if I were you, and you have not seen Fullmetal Alchemist or Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, I would watch Fullmetal Alchemist, then watch the movie. Of course, you must watch all the OVAs. They're original video episode things that were not released with the series. Then I would watch, of course, the Brotherhood. Then I would watch those OVAs and the 16 specials. Yeah, the specials, they kind of just tie into the movie, and they're kind of little joke skits, and it's just kind of funny. Vic Mignogna does a great job at this. To my knowledge, there are about 50